Here we are, YouTube fans. Another episode, Gardening with Vincenzo, and we're in Vincenzo's greenhouse. And today, I wanted to just speak a little bit about some of the items that can be grown in Zone 6A, Middlesex Township, Pennsylvania, Valencia, PA. And today, what I wanted to talk about is a classic summertime favorite called Sugar Baby watermelons. And I have a couple that have popped up here, and I just wanted to speak about those. And the first thing that I wanted to say was when using these not only for landscaping, you can radiate them out like the petals of a flower. You can start in a central hill. You can usually space them, maybe 2 feet apart in a circular fanned out display. And what I do is I plant them in amongst my perpetual strawberries underneath one of my dwarf fruit trees that are in a barrel, and they radiate out, excuse me, and I stake them down to control the length and the size of the watermelon vine. And so there's what you're seeing right there is the little sugar baby. And I just want to tell you a few things about them. Usually the germination of the seed is somewhere between 6 and 10 days, depending on the temperature. And the maturity for picking is 95 days. It's pretty lengthy. That's why you start them indoors. Maybe I do 6 to 8 weeks. So you see mine right there. And we've got about 8 weeks before we go outside and plant things. They require full sun. They're high in vitamins A, B, and C. And the sugar baby, like the Ford Hook, which is another watermelon that I grow from time to time. But today, this season, we're going to do sugar babies. They're super sweet, and they have a fine grained flesh. Now, one of the cautionary notes on this particular plant is you have to be very careful not to disturb the roots when you're transplanting. And you should use a organic balanced fertilizer, water soluble, and maybe fertilize them once per week. They need a good drainage, so you can't mound them up in real clay soil. They require full sun and a good air circulation. So I usually have them planted on the second row of the perpetual strawberries, and I let them fan out, and I use the giant staples, as it were, like for landscaping fabric to control the direction of the vine. And you can tell when they're ripe at about 95 days. Not only do they get about the size of a basketball, somewhere between, 6 and 8 pounds or 6 to 10 pounds. They're ripe when the underside turns yellow. You can kind of just turn them and look when they're fully yellow. And you give them a knuckle thump, and it sounds hollow. So again, you can grow these in a radiated circle mound. And if you want to pinch off the blooms after you get one where there's fruit set, you might be able to get 3 off of a good healthy vine depending on how long the vine is. You won't get that nice big size. If you want to get that big size, you want to pinch off the blooms. All right, and you want to plant these about 4 inches deep below the soil line, and you can mulch around the base of the plant. And once you get a melon formed, it's about the size of a tennis ball. What you can do is you can just put some hay or some mulch underneath it, and you kind of protect it from the soggies. Now you have to be careful for the snails, because if it sits in the water, the snails will get after it. All right, I figured I'd come down and I'd start to do weekly updates on the greenhouse and give you some information on the things that I grow right here again in Middlesex Township, Valencia, PA. All right, remember, we can save this planet 1 yard at a time, beginning with your own. Grow as a person, plant a garden, and you are what you eat, and fresh is always best. All right, thanks for tuning in. Love to hear some interactions. Thanks for the new subscribers. Always good to hear from you. Thank you.